Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leader with Heart podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, my new, absolutely amazing friend, Lelia from Amsterdam. We connected about, 2, 3 weeks ago. We had a wonderful, beautiful chat, connected through a wonderful lady, Monika Krimendhal. She's been an absolute gem. She connected me to incredible people. And one of them is right here talking to this lovely lady here from Amsterdam. So Lelia is absolutely amazing what she does, but in a nutshell, she quit her job, a corporate job with her a few months ago. I mean, last year, whatever, and then she went with her husband to paradise in this planet, Bali, Indonesia, one of my favorite places in the world. But while she was there, she got sick, couldn't walk for 8 months after this treatment, and then that's what triggered her into, first of all, overcoming her challenges, her issues, and then into coaching and helping other women to basically step into this sovereign power, to empower women to be strong, to share their message in front of large audiences, and to overcome the fear of speaking and be seen. On top of that, we had a wonderful conversation before going live today that Lelia as an incredible gift of receiving and information and guidance from her spirit guides and things like that. So she can talk about that herself. She gave me some tips that even now I'm having goosebumps, and she's doing amazing things to hear. So this is going to be a really good one. I can't wait to we get started. So Lelia, my friend, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Pleasure is all mine. I love talking to you. Such a beautiful energy, contagious smile. So and you have so much knowledge, so much warmth that it's very easy to talk to you. It's very easy to have a beautiful heart-to-heart conversation with you. That's what I meant. So let's get started. So before we start on the podcast, I told you last time, sure, we're going to talk about your professional achievement, all you do, but this podcast is all about getting to know you as a human being, to have a look under the hood, so to speak, to see what's in your heart, to get to know who's Lelia as a person, as a human being, first and foremost. And then we're going to dive into seeing all the wonderful things you're doing in the world as a professional business lady. So let's get going. So are you ready?
I am always ready.
Are you excited?
I am so excited.
All right. Awesome. Fantastic. Let's get going. So tell us, for people who don't know you, who's Lelia as a person?
Lelia as a person is always expanding.
That's
It's
a good
always
place
a
to
work
start.
in progress.
We all are. So
Yes. So I'm originally from Romania, and I'm living in Amsterdam. I lived in and studied in Spain, where I met my husband. He's Italian,
oh
so there's
wow.
a whole mix of cultures in my life, and I love it the way that it is. And in the past 2 years, so since 2019. I've been rediscovering myself, and I've been actually expanding myself. So this is why I said it's a forever expansion process. But I think the most important thing is to remind myself to love also the version that is now, because we always find areas in which we can improve and things we can perfect, but it's always beautiful to be kind with who we are as well.
Lovely, amazing. You mentioned Romania. I have a special connection with Romania because one of my very good friend is also from Romania. He's from, I mean, his family's in Canada, but we met when I was living in Hong Kong. We spent a year there together. When I was there, we lived almost together. I mean, we lived together for a few months. Absolutely amazing guy. So I've met say Romanians I've met so far have been very friendly, amazing people, very warm, very down to earth, and people that are really, heart to heart people. And that's something I really love. And I can't wait until I can finally visit Romania, not just Bucharest, but all the other places. I have a good friend of mine. He's French. He spent a lot of time in Cluj and other places. And he's telling me, wow, you need to go to Romania. So absolutely. When I go to Romania, I will message you and say, hey, Lydia, do you have any tips for me?
Yeah, don't go to Bucharest.
Oh, no, maybe for one day or
I'm
2 days,
joking.
just to
I'm joking. No,
fly
it's
in and fly out.
Sibiu. It's very beautiful in the
Which
center
one?
of the country. Sibiu in the center
Okay.
of the country. It's really, really beautiful. Transylvania is very
Oh, I was
beautiful.
about to say that. Absolutely, absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that. I can't wait. So what a beautiful, short summary that you gave us. And we're gonna unpack that over the course of this podcast. So now tell us, what makes you happy
What makes me happy?
as a
Uh,
person? Obviously, we're talking about you as a person.
yeah, to spend time with my husband. I really love
Mm,
it.
of course, of course. That's why he's your husband.
uh,
Otherwise, you wouldn't be with him.
yeah, I really, really like it. And I love traveling as well. I have certain places that really make me happy, like Spain. When I go to Spain, I feel like it's the home of my soul. And yeah, I also love watching birds a lot.
Wow. Which types?
I like birds in general. I do like ducks more than
Oh
the
yeah.
rest of them. Yes. And I grew up having a little dog, so maybe that's why.
Dogs are adorable. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What makes you smile?
What makes me smile? Beauty. Oh my God, I love beauty. If you take me to a place where there's beauty around, like elegance or like flowers or like just a harmony around of colors, I smile with all my heart. Yeah.
Amazing. Beautiful. Now you mentioned heart. What brings your heart alive? What makes your heart sing? Makes you come alive?
The sound also does that for me. So when I hear like sounds that I resonate with, I really feel alive. So certain music or certain songs, they really bring me that moment, and then I remember that moment even more vividly when I listen the song. So the sound is one thing, and the second thing is like to speak things that are true. So when I feel something or I think something and I actually get to express it, I feel so much satisfaction and warmth in my heart, because it hasn't always been the case to be able to express my feelings and my thoughts.
Awesome. Now on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
Um, Injustice. That
Mm,
really gets me very angry.
totally. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you Libra?
Yeah.
Well, me too. That's why I said, oh wow. Please don't tell me. Are you Octoberian?
Yes, I'm Octoberian.
Please don't tell me 18 or 17.
No, it's a half of 18.
So 9.
Yeah, 9th of October.
Wow. My father is 10. October people are the best, see?
Yeah,
that's why
that's
when
why
you
we resonate.
that's why when you said justice, I'm with you 100%. So yeah, wow, amazing. Okay. Now, what scares you?
What scares me to not live to my full potential, to live a safe life. That for me would be very scary.
Oh
Because that
yes.
would make me have regrets. I don't want to arrive like at 8 years old and wonder how it would have been if. Like I want to live that live if.
Yes. Now, what would you say is your personal superpower?
My personal superpower is my intuition. It's so strong. I can like people are talking and they are saying something, and I actually receive what they actually mean or what their subconscious mind wants to say.
So you're dangerous to be around you because nobody can hide what they're thinking, yeah? In a good way. I'm joking.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have it always on, so I think as every gift that we
Mhm.
have the ability to use it and also to turn it off sometimes. Yeah.
Oh wow, amazing. Cool. Now, you mentioned that you love traveling, right?
Yes.
So what was the first place you went to travel?
My first place. Um, it was Hungary, actually.
Wow, beautiful
Yeah,
country.
yeah. I was on a tour when I was 17 years old,
Mm.
and yeah, and I didn't get to Spain. It was always like I wanted to get to Spain. So since I was a child, I really wanted to go to Spain. I don't know why. It was my dream.
So would you say that perhaps in a past life you were born in Spain, maybe?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Mm. Which part of Spain are you most attracted?
I didn't see the north part, so that's I can't say because I should go to see it
Mhm.
first. I've been to the south part, so I spent 3 years of my life there, and I love it.
All right, cool. Now, let me take you another type of traveling. Traveling down the path of memory line. So remember when you were a young girl, you know, everybody around us, parents, family, teachers, friends, relatives ask us, so Lelia, what do you want to become when you grow up? What was your answer back then?
I want to be a doctor. That's what I was
A
saying.
doctor. Wow.
And you know what? I would faint every time I was seeing blood or going to analysis.
My God, I'm the same. My parents wanted me to be a doctor, but as soon as I just like, for example, taking a shot or if seeing the blood, I would pass
Yeah.
out just like you. That's not good to be a doctor.
No, I understood that. Okay, it's not just playing with the. I was playing with small animals and doing injections and like
Oh my
healing them.
God.
And I was like, okay, in real life, it's different than this.
So you're an animal torture. Wow, we have the first animal torture on the podcast.
I was healing them.
Oh yeah. I'm joking. Of
Yeah.
course you are. Of course. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Cool. So and then after doctor, did that change to something else? So always was a doctor.
Then I also wanted to be a business person, but I really admire people that they were having their own businesses. It's always been in my heart, this desire, but I never understood like how would I do that. So it was a dream of mine, but I did not dare to follow it until 2 years ago.
Did you grow up in a family of business people? Did you have any business role model
No,
in the family, or you just wanted to be a business, to be different or whatever, to be free?
no. Yeah, it was the freedom part more.
Mm,
Nobody in my family was a business person.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, let's stay up to where you were a young girl in school. What was your favorite subject?
Oh, definitely literature. Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I loved writing. I loved reading. I would read for a lot of time.
Hmm.
And I was not that great at math. I still am not so great at math.
Well, we're the same on that, on both of that. I love reading and all that, and writing, geography, and all that, history, but math, no, not to me. Cool. Now, let's take a look at when you finished school. What would you say was your very first job?
My very first job was in a call center. And my very first days at that call center was crying. we're,
What happened?
we're full of crying. Um, well, I was working with the Spanish people, and the project was not clear. So we were kind of like explained what we have to do, and then we went in implementing the project, but without the project having a lot of things clear. And people would ask me questions, and I wouldn't know how to answer, and people would get angry on me. And
Oh,
I was like, really, I remember that was also the moment when I was like I don't want to work here. I was in Romania back then. It was my first job ever in Romania. And that's where I realized, okay, I don't want to stay here to work. And I also realized, like, I don't know if you had that feeling when you finish college, when you finish like high school, whatever, and you get to a point where you get your first job, and then you ask yourself, is this for this is that I worked all those years? Is this how it's gonna be from now on? I
yes,
had
yes,
that
yes.
like a shock, like, why did I work so hard? Like,
Almost disappointment, eh?
yeah, and also like a lot of people at the beginning when someone is starting is like they're not really friendly with a newbie.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's move forward. Take us from the time you left school to now. How would you describe your path? Would you say it was very straightforward once you got into one line, just straight sailing, smooth forward, was like turns and twists, roller coaster, ups and downs?
It was a lot of like traveling and started to understand where I want to be. So I
Hmm.
finished my university in Spain, and then it was the financial crisis back then, and I did not find a job in Spain. So
Oh yeah,
that's when I opened my horizons, and I found like a paid program to come and have the internship actually paid in Amsterdam.
nice.
And that's how I started. And the first year was like I was underpaid. I was working so much, so many hours.
Sure.
And I've been like shifting and changing jobs. And from outside, you would say that everything was like progressing, because with each job I had and the company and everything was getting better and better and better. But on the inside, I was just in every job where I was, after a few months, like I was very good at my job. Like if you were asked my managers, everybody would have great words to say about my work. But I was always like, I feeling that was more to life to just stay in an office. And I'm speaking about me, I was just like, I felt like I was trapped, like I can do something else much bigger, have an impact, and I'm not doing that by staying here. This is how I felt. And I felt I had this feeling of being trapped. And I always thought that it's maybe because of the manager, of the team, of the salary. There's always something that it's because I don't like this. And I arrived at a certain point where everything was the way that I wanted. The manager, the team, the salary, everything was fine.
Wow.
And yet I did not feel happy inside. And that was my moment of realizing this is not about the ideal situation, is that I want something else.
So
Yeah.
that's a perfect segue. So what did you do to transition from that to a perfect place? How did you change your story? How did you change your story to change your direction to go to where you want it to be, so that you can be not only happy from the outside, making good money and all that, but also from the inside, most importantly, to be fulfilled and happy? How did you make the transition? How did you change your story so you could be happy both outside and inside?
I want to say that I did not have a roadmap. I want to say that, because maybe there are people that will identify with this. I was so confused. And the first thing that I did was I quit the job. We did save some money to do that step. And I wanted to just go and travel and relax. And at that time, I'm speaking about 2019, I had this idea of becoming a travel blog and start my business as a travel blog. And I realized
You still have that blog?
Yeah, I had a blog.
What's the name of it? I will check it out now.
Oh, I don't have it anymore. So it
okay.
it was Packing Joy. It was the name of that brand.
Wow, I love the name. Okay.
And it became so stressful for me that I was not enjoying the traveling, and I stressed a lot my husband during that period as well. And after 3 months, I got sick, and that's
sorry to interrupt you. Do you still have that domain, packingjoy.com?
I actually changed it into the current one.
Because I just checked it online. It says someone is it's parked, and someone is selling it for $2,400.
Oh.
So I wish it was you, so you can have some cash coming in. But all right, okay, never mind. Sorry to distract you. Okay, so keep going.
Yeah, so and that's where the universe kind of like stepped in. And it's crazy because I was like speaking about meditations, and I wasn't so spiritual back then, but I was always like from time to time, like writing letters and asking my soul and trying to do all those things, that they tell you to do to find the soul purpose. And I was like, why is my soul not answering me? Why am I not getting the answer? Like, what am I meant to do here? And the interesting thing is that in one day, I actually wrote a very angry letter to the universe, like, you're not responding me. I'm here asking for signs. What am I meant to do? And in that day, I actually started to feel sick.
You still have that letter?
Yeah, I do. I do have the letter.
Do you have it on your blog, on your website somewhere? Because that would be amazing to see.
I don't have it on my website. So what would be an interesting idea?
Maybe put it in a newsletter and send an email to your list, even on your Facebook page, whatever. Because especially when you reflect back on that after, see where I was, where I'm now, and see the progress.
Yeah, I was so angry, and then the universe responded.
How long do you take universe to respond?
Well, the first time I asked about purpose and everything, it was 2 years before. So I've been like asking for 2 years, and then after those 2 years, I wrote this really angry letter, and I know why I received the immediate answer, because my energy was so strong. And in that night, I started to feel sick, and I started to feel sick for a month. I was kind of okayish, but then like 3 weeks after that evening, I went in hospital in Bali, and yeah, that's where they told me I had a salmonella, but then they gave me a very, very strong treatment, and that treatment completely took me out of balance. And yeah, that's how I started the whole healing process, and it brought me to where I am today.
Wow. So Bali, you get sick in Bali. Okay.
You can't go to Bali and not be. I think it's like I believe that there is something energetically there. It's like you can also go and see it like just as a tourist, like kind of like scenery, beautiful scenery, and relax. But I think it can also be a powerful place for activation. It's like it will bring up inside of you fears or things that you didn't deal with, or clarity. And I really think it's something that brings a lot of things inside of a person if you are connected with yourself.
Yeah, because Bali is very, very big with meditation and all, especially the Buddhist and all that. So I can see that as being a place for energy, as you said, awakening energy, unleashing, and things like that. Absolutely. Wow. So would you say that you mentioned you were not very spiritual? So would you say in Bali you started becoming, or at least Bali played a role in you becoming spiritually more spiritual?
It did. In Bali, I had my very first awakening, and I didn't even know that was what was happening. So I had a retreat in 2016 with other women. And in that retreat, I went to visit Ida. She's like a priestess. And after her water ceremony, I had this incredible journey in like kind of like my vibration increased, and I actually entered in the famous state I am presence, and I've never experienced that. And it was such an amazing experience. But it happened, and after that meditation, I did not really understand what was happening. I wanted always to go back into that state. I felt like a separation between the source and myself, and like why I cannot be always in that state. Like I want to do something to kind of like escape this reality and be there in that state. And that was a big misunderstanding on my side. And when I actually went through all this transformation 2 years ago, I realized that I did not stay in that state, because it was a journey of empowerment. And this is why I really talk a lot about empowering people, because in the end of the day, there is no separation. Like we could be in that state if we wanted to, but we have chosen to come here because we all have like a mission, and there are things you chose to learn into this life. It's not
Totally.
like somebody decided to punish you, or you're not good enough, you have to go through those experiences so that you get to that state. Absolutely not.
Absolutely. That's something that I also add that I can relate, because since the start of pandemic, I've had a spiritual awakening. I've started reading and devouring a lot of books on that. And I got to realize that, just like, for example, when you're in college, you meet with your course counselor to decide, hey, what do you like? What do you want to study? What do you want? What university you want to go to? Same thing here. Before we are born, we said our spiritual guide or whatever, and they ask us, so what do you want to, so to speak, which school do you want to go to, which planet, or
Yeah.
what college, what do you want to learn, what do you want to major in? So we come here to learn one or two major lessons. It can be love, compassion, patience, and things like that. So I totally relate with that, and that's something I also realized since last year. And once you do, you become a different person. You become a person with a purpose, with a mission. And that's what a lot of us, especially in the Western world, are lacking. We don't have a purpose. So, and that's, I really love that, talking about this with like minded people, enlightened people like you. Wow. So when you had your spiritual awakening in Bali, tell us what happened next.
Well, after that, 2016, nothing major happened. So I didn't really deep in. I was still working in a corporation. I went to a guru and I did not like the experience. I did not feel empowered there. There were questions asked and people would just like say yes, 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 and follow the guru. It was one day for a few hours and I was like, this is not for me. And that was it. So I started to go to yoga and meditations, and I didn't really deep dive until 2019 when I was back in Bali and I got sick, and I really went for like 8 months. I could not walk because that treatment that they gave me in Bali for salmonella, it was like 30 plus medicines per day. So even a healthy body, if you put 30 plus medicines per day, I don't know how well you will be.
Oh yeah, wow.
And it took me 8 months. I mean, I couldn't walk, I couldn't see properly, I couldn't think properly. I was so confused, and I had moments where I was always conscious, but I would like my body would just collapse, and I started to have anxiety and fear and anger and whatever you name it, and
Wow.
eczema on my body, and a lot of things coming up in my body. And that's why I got into coaching, and I really wanted to understand, like, how can I manage my emotions. This is how it all started. And I was like, okay, the doctors were telling me, I did investigations in 3 different countries, everybody was telling me you're perfectly healthy, and I'm like, I cannot walk.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
And I'm 30 years old, it's not like I'm 80 and there's the age. So I committed to myself, and one big shift for me was when I did a Reiki attunement, because with Reiki I started to actually simply accept where I was, because healing cannot happen, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about health, if we're talking about big business visions, if we're talking about anything and everything. You cannot build anything if you don't fully accept where you are. It's beautiful to know you can go in a better situation, but you have to accept where you are. Otherwise, it's like resistance happening. And for me, Reiki helped me to accept my body and to just come back in my body and be like, okay, I cannot walk. Yes, this is where I am. I don't have to stay here forever, but this is where I am. And then with coaching, I started to learn about EFT and processing emotions. And I started to understand, oh my God, the eczema that I have, what is going on in my body. Everything is related to my thoughts, to the things that I've been keeping for years and I did not process. And I started to understand, like, I never considered myself to have trauma. And I thought that, trauma is for people that go to war, or trauma is for people that have been sexually abused, like big things. I didn't consider violence to be a trauma. And I realized I had so much trauma, so many levels. And for me,
So
that was
by violence, you mean the negative self-talk you're having within yourself all these years inside your head?
I suffered physical violence in my life. And
sorry to hear that. Okay.
I was also transferred from my family to another family. So I did not associated that as an abandonment, but if you look at it psychologically speaking, it is abandonment.
Of course, it's huge.
I found out this last year because I was like, no, I was not abandoned. And
wow.
when I learned everything about how the mind works and the subconscious works, I realized, yeah, in my subconscious, that was perceived as an abandonment. And to make this story short, in 6 months, working with my mind, working with my emotions, working with visualization, I have completely healed my body. And this is why I'm talking about power, because it did not happen through doctor. I did have a naturopath that helped me with the gut health, but all of the work, it's always the power within you, within me, within every single one of us. We have full power over our bodies. Like, even that's the most is the biggest evidence that you can get, when you see that I have so many things that are not okay in my body and I can heal them. Like, I have the power to build my own health. And in the same way, I have the power to create disease.
Absolutely. And it is so true because we don't understand how powerful we are, how our mind are powerful. We can create any reality we want if we project the right thoughts. And that's something that I just get to realize and understand just recently. Wow, that's amazing. Now, speaking of that, the previous version of me before my spiritual awakening, if something bad would happen to me, I would always ask and whine and play the victim. Why me? Why to deserve this? Why? And just be negative and create a vicious circle. But since my spiritual awakening, I got to understand things, and I get to understand one very important thing, which is the power of asking questions, the right question. Like instead of saying, why me? Why did I do to deserve this? Take a step back and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson in here for me to learn? When you ask that, then you become a different person. So now you, Lelia, looking back at your life, especially the 8 months that you couldn't walk, your body, the doctors are telling you you're fine, but the reality was completely different. What would you say was the lesson for you to learn? Two questions. What was the lesson for you to learn in those situations? Would you say that part of your life, you being very sick for 8 months, was a beautiful gift in disguise to allow you to open your mind to your wonderful capacities and capabilities that you have within you to self-heal and to expand and tap into your unlimited power from within you?
So the first thing it did is stop me from going to a job. That would
Yes,
be would have been the comfortable choice for me after coming back from travel. And I did wanted to do that, but I just couldn't work because I couldn't focus. So that was the first thing. The second thing was to learn me about self-worth, because not being able to work meant that I could not make my own money, and the money that I did from my job eventually finished. And so I was like kind of supported financially by my husband most of the time. And all the healing process, like even last year, investing in my business, investing in my healing, it was supported by him. And for me, that was another big step to not associate my worth to how much money I'm doing. And it was not easy. And the third one was, I think this is the most powerful blessing that I got from that. It showed me that no one else has the answers for me. Like I went to so many specialists, like I checked my body for you name it. I went to a cardiologist, like the people with the glands. I went everywhere and there was no answer. And that journey gave me the ultimate power. Like I can heal myself completely. And I'm not saying like, you should go and check the doctor to understand what is going on in your body sometimes, but don't take the diagnosis sometimes with what they're saying. Because I know even for myself, even this summer, I had a lounge, and I had a photo session for the lounge done, and then I got stuck with my spine. And I realized like now I can easily connect and understand the energy that is behind what is going on, like why is this happening. And I started to understand the emotions that were blocked there. And once I healed the emotions, I did EFT and I released the energy from there. Yes, it took the muscles like a week to readjust, but the pain was not that hard anymore.
Wow, incredible.
Yes.
Must have been quite a journey. Wow. Now let's move forward, because we can talk about that and that would be a fascinating topic, but we have a lot still to cover. Tell us now about your business. What do you do? What are you doing now? What kind of impact are you having in this beautiful world now? So tell us about your business. What you're doing.
So I am a mindset coach and an energy healer. And since last year in October, I actually started to feel other people's energies and to read their quantum fields. So I can go very, very fast during one session when I connect with other people, I can go very fast to the root cause because I receive the information from their quantum field. And I really like to empower women to step into their sovereignty and to give voice to the inner fire that they have inside. And the reason why I like particularly to work with women is because I've seen that it's much harder for a woman to actually express all the facets of who she really is.
Really? Wow.
Yes, and they are so terrified to speak up and to actually, and when I say to speak up, I mean in sharing certain gifts that might seem out of the box for some people, you know, or when they are ready to grow to the next level, they always fear that visibility level. And I really like to support them to heal all this trauma. We as women, we've been silenced for so many years, and we would be naive to think that this trauma hasn't been passed at the cellular level, generation after generation after generation, you know? And it's so easy to work and shift the energy and release that fear and sit in the, I love seeing women when they show up. You can actually say when a woman is speaking from her heart, and you always fear that somebody is going to reject you, but you know you're more powerful than just that fear. You're like, okay, I see my fear. I can hold space for it, and I'm still gonna show up, and I'm still gonna make myself be seen. And I really love doing that in my work. I love to see women rising. I love to see them sovereign. I love to see them like, this is me, you know. Sometimes some things might feel weird, might be perceived as weird, but owning who they are.
Awesome. Tell us about the process. How do you do that? How do you help a woman to express herself fully? Tell us about the process and the structure of your program, and how exactly you're able to help them, to empower them.
Yeah, so I work a lot with the body. So we first see like what's going on in a person's body. So what do they feel? What are their, like, what is their business vision? You know, I want to speak on a stage, or I want to get to 40K per month, or I want to speak in front of a larger audience. So what is the vision? And then we connect to what is your body saying about this vision.
Oh, wow.
And we work through this, because I believe that you can stay in meditation and you can do visualizations and you can repeat to yourself that I'm confident, I'm confident, I'm confident. And yet when you are in that situation, if your body is not onboarded, you're going to start to shrink, you're going to start to have sweaty hands and like not being able to speak and so on. So I really focus on the body to actually clear the energy of the body and clear the blocks in your nervous system, you know, so that you don't only say that, you know, I want to have a 40K client, for example, but you feel I'm bringing you at the level where you can actually energetically receive that client. And we work with the body a lot. I work with women with their bodies. We work with the mind. We work at an energetic level, and most of my sessions are divided between the energy work, which is like the subconscious mind, the beliefs, everything. And then the last part, I also do EFT because it has helped me enormously. And I think that if people don't have results, it's because they're not using it properly.
Sorry, what is exactly EFT again, for those that don't know?
Yes, it's emotional freedom techniques. So it's tapping, you're tapping where you're saying your fears on certain meridians on the body. And it helps your nervous system to calm down. And it also activates the amygdala, the hippocampus. It's very, very, it's a very powerful technique, and I love to use it. And I'm using it in a little bit different way. Because this is how it worked for me, and I like doing that with my clients as well. And so at the end of the work that we do together, like, people feel empowered because they have certain tools that they know they can use themselves, and they feel in their body that what they desire is aligned with the body, you know. And even if, let's say, for example, you go up on stage and you do feel the fear, it's different because you know how to manage it, you know how to speak to it, you know how to integrate it. I am not really about push the fear away, or let's think about something else, or disbelief, let's get rid of it, and let's implement something better. That's not really my style. I'm more like, let's integrate, let's talk with the emotion that you're feeling, where is in the body, what do you feel, what is the message, and let's change from the root of it, let's integrate it, let's make it feel safe. And the next time when you feel anger coming up and you're speaking to it, you're going to see that it slows down. You're going to see the fear as well, that it softens. It's just a part inside of you. It's like it starts to soften, and that is helping you to show up more confident without feeling like, I feel afraid. And did you, for sure you experience this, when you're afraid and you try to push it back, to push it like down, it gets even more intense.
Sure, absolutely.
So when you would be to say like, yeah, I see you. Yeah, I know I'm afraid right now. I'm here with you. Yeah, I see there's a part inside of me that is afraid. Yeah, I see you. I feel you. I hear you. I'm with you. You're going to see, you're going to feel it in your body. You have to try it. You're going to see how it softens. So it's like, okay, I can relax. And then you can take action.
Basically, you acknowledge it. You don't try to push it away. Acknowledge it and then say, okay, I see you. I know you're here, but
I feel you, you know, it's
I
just,
feel you.
it's so many times, whatever you feel, anger, whatever you feel, anger, fear, anxiety, it's a part inside of you that feels separated. And when you say, I feel you, I love you, I see you, I'm here with you, it doesn't feel alone anymore, because it's just one part, you know, in the whole system that you are. And that's where it softens, and it allows you in that moment to take action and to make also better decisions. So many people make decisions in stress or in pressure, and then they regret the decisions that they're making their business.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. Now, you said you work with women. What would you say is the ideal client avatar of the woman you want to work with?
I work with women that want to expand, that they want to grow their business. So women that usually have already constant clients in their business and have some experience. I also work with women that already have the business strategy and they want to grow to the next level. And they know that it's so many times when you want to grow to the next level, it's not so much about the strategy as it is of the mindset and energy. And that's where I come in. And some of my clients call me a resource for expansion.
That's a great thing to be called, you know? That's amazing. If you can help them to do that, that's awesome. Now, can you share with us an example of a wonderful result you get to one of your clients? A result that you had that was transformational, inspirational, and really life changing for them and also for you.
Yeah, so I had so many things happening. One of my clients had like one of the best. She said that she had one of the best sleeps of her lives, and that
Wow.
really made my heart feel full of joy.
Sure.
Because so many times even in our sleep, we don't really like release things. We always think about the business and what we have to do next, and we don't get in that place where we can actually fully relax. And another client I work with, it was amazing for me to see that she started to feel connected to her soul mission, and she had some visions in the session we had together. And 2 months after, those visions started to become true, and that for me was amazing to see. It was like, wow. Yeah.
You mentioned helping that one of your client having an amazing sleep. Do you have any tips for people to sleep in peace and not have, basically remove stress before sleeping so that they can enjoy a very restful sleep.
One simply thing you can do is to set up an intention. To set up an intention before you go to sleep, to have a peaceful dream, to have a dream that relaxes your body. And I would say like 10 minutes before going to sleep, if you're like super busy in your mind and it's like, I had to do this and today, just take a piece of paper and write it down, or that would be the best you could do. Like to just write down on a piece of paper everything that comes up. That you don't even have to think about like it doesn't make sense, or like I should have done this, tomorrow I have to do this, like everything from your mind, because that's energy moving, right? And you get it down on a piece of paper. Then I would suggest to actually think about the things that you did do that day. To connect a little bit with a little bit of gratitude, like, what are the things that I've actually done today that I'm proud of, and that installs in your body a feeling of satisfaction. And then this is so strong to set the intention. Like people underestimate, and it blows my mind, we underestimate the power of our emotions. This is of our intentions, sorry. This is so important because through our words, through our energy behind those words, we get to command the quantum field. We get to command the energy field of your body and the quantum field around you. This is how healing is happening also when you have health issues, for example. This is how healing is happening, manifestation, is also happening. When you set your intention, for example, and if you speak it out loud, it's even more powerful because you bring to the thought energy, you bring the sound energy. And when you speak it up, use like it's a command to the energy field around you. So if you set the intention, like, I ask here now to have a restful sleep. I ask to have beautiful dreams. I ask to be, to regenerate myself during the sleep. And then you say, so be, so it is. You're going to see that intention is powerful enough. If you still have dreams that come up after you set the intention, and especially have dreams that are repeating themselves, because that was also the case of my client, it means that there is something at your subconscious mind, because when you are sleeping, your logical mind is like, it's not so active, right? It's not like responding. So everything that's in the subconscious comes up. So if it's repeating, it means it has a message, and you should look into that one.
Wow, awesome. I'm so glad I'm recording this so I can rewatch it later and take notes, and because that's gold. Wow, amazing. Wow. Let's move forward now. How are you getting your clients? Do you have a marketing game plan? Are you running ads, or is it strictly word of mouth and referrals?
Referrals is the best part, because people like that have been working, normally they refer me, and that's the part that I also love the most, because it's a matter of like, it takes longer otherwise, the whole process of connecting and understanding.
Yes.
And I've also noticed that people feel much more connection when I'm like, they see me speaking and they see me on video, because I'm transmitting at an energy level a lot, and they connect to my energy. I also did I did study a lot of marketing and strategy. I do have that, but I think if you can have a great strategy, if your energy is not aligned to it, or you don't believe in it, it's just not going to work. And I know this because I've experienced this. Like last year, I hired a very good coach on the business side. She gave me a great strategy. The same strategy worked incredibly for other people, and it did not work for me, not because the strategy was not good, because I did not believe in it. Yeah.
I see. Wow. Are you doing reach outs to get on other people's podcasts and shows to talk about what you're doing?
That one I did it intentionally, in the sense that I set the intention that I want to be on podcasts, and after speaking about the power of intentions,
Yeah.
and then naturally I met people that they were doing podcasts, and when I felt the click energetically with someone, I asked if I could be on their podcast. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the next step for you when you're ready is to not just be on other people's podcasts, but be on your podcast, so that you can keep talking on it, sharing the energy, displaying that, because the more you connect, the more you can share, the more your audience can get to see you transmit energy, and then it's going to be much easier for you to help these people as well. And then we talked about that earlier. So yeah, wow, amazing. Now, moving forward, the theme of this podcast is cause. What would you say is a cause that you're very passionate about?
Transformation.
Mm,
I really believe that that every human being has so much potential and it's unique. Like I believe that each and every one of us have really unique gifts. And I think only through transforming our mindset, because we've been putting in small boxes for all our lives. It's school, everywhere you go, you have to, it's not really encouraging to let that part of you that is unique to show up and to come up
yes.
on the surface, right? So I believe that through transformation you get to really know yourself. You get to peel back, oh, this is not actually my belief, this I was told, is this true, is not true, and you get to the core of who you are. And for me, that's like the most, if we were to live as who we truly are, we've done the game here on earth.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, beautiful. Okay. Now, let's start to wrapping things up. I love talking to you, but we might have to do a part two in a few weeks, few months to follow up, because there's so much more I can talk. We can do an entire series, a season, even a podcast, me and you, just talking and stuff. But that's amazing because you're such a fascinating person. Now, let's talk about advice. What would you say has been so far the best piece of advice you've received?
The best is to be myself.
Mm,
I had this, and I have to give credit. It was my coach, Jackie Simek. I worked with her last summer, and I was admiring her so much for where she was with her business and how fast she grew, and her expansion, everything. And I told her in my first interview with her, I told her, I want to be like you. And she gave me the best advice, because she said, no, you do you.
exactly. There's only one of each of us. You don't want to be a copycat. You want to be the original, the
Yeah, and
unique.
our paths are actually very, very different. So yeah.
Totally. Now, on the other side, what would you say has been so far the worst piece of advice you received?
The worst piece of advice, um, it was to not to not quit my job and go traveling, and it was like, yeah, I should stay in the safety of that job, and I'm crazy to let it go. Yeah.
Absolutely. I can relate with that 100%.
And the
Now,
even worse one was when somebody told me that I should just let go of this thing with the health back then, because maybe this is how my life is going to be from now on. I was like, no.
to be a crippled old lady in bed in a wheelchair, wow, get the hell out of here. Absolutely not. Maybe you can do that if you want, but not me. You're welcome to do it, but stay away from me. Wow, that's crazy. Now, since you love traveling, let's go back in a travel, this time around in a time machine. Imagine that you can go and sit face to face with an 18-year-old Leila. What would be number one advice you would give to her, knowing everything you know now?
You are so powerful. You have the power to
Mm.
create and change anything. That's what I would tell her. And
Is
make
that
yourself be seen.
what was that's wonderful. What was the advice you wish someone had given you when you were 18?
That I'm loved unconditionally.
Oh, beautiful. Because it's all about love at the end of the day. Love is powerful. Love is what gives you the fuel, the fire, reason, the purpose, the why inside of you to keep going. Absolutely. Now, I know you don't have your podcast yet, but if imagine that you add your podcast and today you're interviewing the most special person in the world. Can you guess who that is?
The most special person. I
In the
really
world.
like. I
No, no,
really
no, no,
like.
no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Let me rephrase that. So today you're interviewing the person that is the most special person in the world for you.
For me, okay, my husband.
Okay, okay. But now I'm talking about someone even more special than that, which is yourself. So you're
Okay.
interviewing yourself. What is the number one question you want to ask yourself if you were to interview you? Don't think too much. What is the first question that comes to your mind?
How did you quantum leap in your business?
And your answer is,
I just did it.
oh, you just did it. Just do it. Okay.
Just do
Don't think too
it.
much. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Now, my favorite question to ask is, what is the smallest thing you've done that has had the biggest impact, positive impact in both your life and business so far? Like, I'll give you an example. For me, it's been by far starting the podcast. What about you?
Connecting with myself, that changed my life entirely. It's it connecting to my intuition, actually, because it became my decision maker, my driver, my sense of direction. Like every single decision I make in my business, in my life, it has to come from that place of intuition, like being on board of it. And I was completely disconnected before, and it really, it sounds so simple. It changed my life.
So yes, I keep hearing that all the time with all the over 100 people I talk to on my podcast. A majority of them, they say, listen to your gut, listen to your instinct, because your instinct is here for two reasons: to protect you and to guide you. So yeah, so for you, Lelia, that's a great question I want to ask you. So you said the greatest thing for you was to connect with your intuition. Was that an ongoing process over the years, or was it a specific event that told you, hey, this is it, I need to change things? Was that one event that made you connect with, was that, for example, your sickness in Bali, or some other event in your life, or was that a progression from the time you were born up until now, and before you know it, as you get, you go over the years, you realize that, hey, I'm paying more attention to my intuition,
No,
that now it's
it was
become
a
like a
very
second,
concrete.
that now like it's become almost like a second, like a reflex.
Yeah, it became like a second nature, because if you practice it, it will become like a
Mm.
second nature. And no, for me, it was a very concrete moment, and it was a moment of total anger, actually.
Was that your letter to the angry letter to the universe?
No, it was last year when I was really blocked in my business and nothing was working, and I was really, really angry with my soul. Like, why did you choose this? Why am I not getting clients? I have invested so much time. And in that moment of, like, I always say it's always better to feel anger than fear, because in anger you can have huge breakthroughs, and especially when you vocalize that. I always say to people, like, I'm not saying go and scream in a room full of people, but if you get yourself into a room where you're alone, and you can, like, either write it down or like let it come out, you can learn so much from hearing yourself in those angry moments. You can have breakthroughs. And this is what I did. Like, I started to write, and I was so pissed off, and I was like, I wrote to my soul, like, you have to answer me, show me the answers. And in that moment, I started to, like, my hands started to flow, and I started to receive answers from my soul, and I wrote for 10 pages, and it answered
Whoa,
all my questions.
that's phenomenal. Wow. Wow.
And we
So
can all do this. This is incredible. It's like, it feels wow, but you know what? We can all do this. We can all connect to our soul with our intuition. Call it as ever you want. We all have this energy inside of us. We can all tap into it and get all the answers. We have all the answers.
so will you say that getting angry is one of the keys for us to get in touch with our soul?
staying with the emotions that show up for you. For
Mm.
me, it's anger. For some people, it can be in their moments of total anxiety. Well, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I can't breathe. And like, if you stay with it, if you talk to it, if you're like, okay, like, show me what's going on. Like, ask that part inside of you. Like, I was specifically asking my soul, like, divine soul of mine, you have to answer to me. And then I was angry, like, give me the answer. And it started to give me the answer. I think it's in those moments of you can actually feel the energy, like so much anger, so much fear, so much anxiety. And in those moments, if you ask for guidance, if you ask for a response, you are going to receive it. There is, I believe there's no exception.
Wow, phenomenal. Love that. I'm so glad I'm recording this because this is beautiful. This is powerful. Now, if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
I'm very present in social media, so they can find me easily on Instagram, Facebook. I think it's the easiest way. Then I also have a website, but I think through social media is the easiest and fastest way.
Okay, so what's your social media? Tell us. I can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, so it's on Instagram. It's Lelia _C_V. And on Facebook is Lelia Ceausu. I do have two accounts. So it's the one where I have like actually it's written there, the coaching one, so people can find me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put that. And you mentioned a website. What's your website?
LeliaCeausu.com. Yeah, my name.
LeliaCeausu.com. Okay.
I can pass you the contacts afterwards.
Sure, absolutely. So, yeah. And do you have any last minute parting tips for anyone listening right now?
Oh my God, you're so gorgeous. You're beautiful. You're powerful, and you're absolutely loved. You're unconditionally loved, especially by your soul. I want to share this experience, and I will close with this one. I had an experience last year where during a meditation, I actually got to experience my body through my soul. So to experience how is my soul seeing my body. And the amount of love that I felt for this human body, it was absolutely amazing. And there is a part inside of you, no matter how much you criticize yourself, that loves you so much and loves every single aspect of your physical body, of how you are, who you are. It's like forever in love with you.
So are you referring to astral projection?
No, I'm referring to just like connecting with the soul and like
Wow.
sometimes perceiving yourself through the eyes of the soul, and it's a beautiful exercise. For example, you can do this with a mirror and just look into your eyes. I believe the eyes are
Windows
the
to the soul?
gateway
Yeah, this is the
to
soul.
the
Yeah.
soul. And just if you just trying to see your soul through your eyes and perceive yourself like this and see what is your soul saying about who you are, your body, the way that you are. And also another powerful exercise, if people were to do those things, their life would change. Like spend a week getting naked in front of the mirror and look at your body and let the thoughts initially that come up initially, like, no, I don't like my leg, I'm sitting, I don't know how, my hand is like this. Let those thoughts actually vocalize them, and then get to
Out
like,
loud.
yes, and then get to say beautiful things to your body. And it's crazy, like people get compliments after that. People start to feel more connected with themselves. It's like such a simple thing, it can really change so many things.
That's a good one. Now, you mentioned about seeing your soul. How did your soul look like? Does it have a shape? Does it have tell us more about how the soul looks like. There's like a
um,
energy around.
yeah, it's like the way that I have perceived it, I saw the color bluish. It's a different blue, so it's like you know how you look at snow and it's like when it's in the light, it's reflecting so many colors.
Oh, light, very light blue.
Yeah, very light blue, but like a shining particle. So exactly like you
Wow.
would look in the snow when there's sun outside. It was that kind of thing. And I just perceive the energy. So it's not really a shape or so. It's a presence.
Wonderful. Okay. So was the soul, how was the soul talking to you? Was it through telepathy, through energy, through vibrations, or you were hearing words?
The first time I started to connect with my soul, I started through writing. So it actually, I wrote for 10 pages, and
Wow.
there was this like kind of presence that was speaking, the presence of my soul. But now I get to, like, I have been using my intuition since last year a lot, and it became like a practice for me. And I actually get to see words, and sometimes I have like short downloads. So I see an image for a few seconds, but then the whole information from that image is being like a telepathy, transferred, and I know information without seeing that image anymore. So this is how it works for me.
That's amazing. Wow. Listen, we can talk for hours because this is something I told you earlier, absolutely fascinated with. We'll definitely do a second part in the future. But for now, I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world with your presence, with your mission, with your vision, with your lovely and warm smile and presence. Stay safe. Stay awesome. God bless you, my friend. Take care.
Thank you, Payman, and also thank you for the work that you're doing, for your patience, and you
You're
have
welcome.
such a beautiful and warm energy. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine. Stay safe. We're definitely gonna stay in touch. We are in touch. We're gonna be. I mean, we connected. So don't worry. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye
You
bye.
too. Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye bye.